being a leader of an organization and knowing that my responsibility is to grow the firm, I'm not going to do anything in the organization that's going to diminish that goal. Our number one pillar in our organization for vertical growth and horizontal growth development is establishing teams. In 20 years of experience, I've seen that has been the greatest contributor to advisor retention, attraction, and vertical growth. So team selling and establishing teams and supporting teams is a core competency of our organization or any organization, I believe, that wants to thrive in this marketplace. In my current role, I have an opportunity to meet with a lot of advisors that are in the business 10, 20 plus years. And they're looking to develop a more established practice, or they're looking to get to another level in their practice. So they're hearing about teaming. They understand that it's an opportunity for them to grow their business, but they're fearful that it requires them to change. It requires them to evolve. And when they're used to doing something that they've been doing, for a long, long time, going into a team-based environment can be a little bit scary. So when I'm asked this question about why team selling, we go right to the facts. And when you step back and you look over the years of the results that team selling has provided, it's hard to ignore what those facts say. And those facts are things like advisors that are involved in a team selling environment stay in the business longer. Advisors that are in a team selling environment have better production rates. Their vertical growth is better than those that are sole practitioners. Their clients that experience a team selling environment are happier. So although it's fearful, when you look at why team selling, it's hard to ignore that it's simply just better to be involved in a team-based environment than to be involved in a sole practitioner world. I've been working with teams now for over 20 years. I was fortunate enough to be involved with an organization that pretty much right out of the gate supported teaming when no one talked about it. And then I was asked to go into an organization and establish a teaming culture in a predominantly sole practitioner environment. And in my history in working with teams at every different level, high performance teams do have some common characteristics. And those characteristics are things like they hold each other accountable. They are able to establish unique ability, roles and responsibilities within the team. And what that does, it allows those advisors to do so much better than they would normally have done if they were a jack of all trades. So right out of the gate, those things right there are common with high performance teams. And then when you look at teams a little deeper, you see that high performance teams also have some behaviors that teams that don't have the same successes, such as they have a vision. They have a well-documented vision with a business plan and actionable items. Number two, they have a planning habit to make sure that they hold themselves accountable to what that vision says. And those measurements can be done quarterly, they can be done monthly, they can be done weekly. But they measure progress. Progress creates excitement because it gives them an opportunity to see that we are evolving, we are doing better. The third thing that they do is they work with a leadership team. So they're not responsible by themselves as advisors to move that vision to a reality. They have a great partnership with a coach or a member of a leadership team that helps them establish that vision. And they have clearly defined roles and responsibilities so that everybody knows what they're bringing to the table. And then, of course, they measure that progress. So there's some of the key characteristics that high-performance teams consistently bring to the table. Attracting the millennial marketplace is very much a key strategy for what we're doing as an organization. It's very convenient that when you look at what a millennial is looking for, it includes things like working in a collaborative, team-based environment. So the mere fact that from an attraction standpoint, a talent acquisition standpoint, that if you have an organization that supports team selling, you will be attractive to the millennial marketplace. So the more that you can establish teaming in your organization, the more the opportunity you'll have to bring the best talent to your firm to work in that kind of an environment. It's really bridging the gap of multiple generations within an organization. So it's a very exciting time, but the millennial marketplace is very important as our industry has aged. It's really up to us as leaders to help create career path for the next generation. And teaming is the perfect segue for that, or happier. So although it's fearful, when you look at why team selling, you're establishing teams. The first thing is you're getting commitment. You're getting commitment from advisors at different levels. You're getting commitment from the leadership team. They're making promises to each other. They're establishing, this is the role that I'm going to play within this team. There's a critical component here that I think often contributes to the success or the lack of success of an established team. And that really becomes how they're going to market to their existing relationships. And when I see senior partners, those that are leading teams, reluctant to engage their best relationships, those teams have great difficulty. Because what those teams are looking for is that junior advisor to be the marketer. The junior advisor that's been in the business for 2-3 years that knows not as many people as the senior partner that's been in the business 10, 15, 20 plus years. So when I see teams, on the other hand, that have leaders on those teams that take their best relationships and allow the team, along with the senior partner, to leverage those relationships into new relationships, those teams always do the best. When team leaders delegate their worst customers, they want to know why it isn't working. So one of the greatest areas of advice that I could give to senior partners that are embarking on team selling, the best thing you could do is focus on your best relationships. If you're going to delegate your second tier, not your worst tier. Focus on your top relationships, and you'll have the greatest results. My top 40 clients are mine. I'm just asking someone to help me leverage that relationship. That top 40 client is then introducing me to people in their circle of influence. The mistake that teams make is they'll take that customer that they got 15 years ago that they really haven't seen, and they'll delegate that customer. It's already an unfavorable situation, and that customer doesn't have the same level of affluence, and you're asking that person to give you a tier 1 relationship. It's not likely to happen. So you're really positioning yourself for failure right out of the gate. But if you take your top relationships and then your next 50 or next 100 You're not giving them away. You're just enhancing the experience that they're going to have with you and your team. That is one of the reasons why we talk about why teaming, and we say we've got a better client retention. We have better client retention because you're focused more on your best relationships. So it makes perfect sense when you really think about it. And those senior partners that get that achieve quick vertical growth.